Hi guys, and welcome back to Inspired by YouTube. Like I said on my previous video, I believe everybody should have a YouTube channel, and that also includes podcast channels too. Because no matter what you're passionate about, it could be gaming, comedy, science, or just having conversations, there's an audience for you online. Anyway, today we're going to dive deep into one of the biggest media giants on the planet, and it's none other than the king of podcasts himself, Joe Rogan. So basically, we're going to look at how he built his empire, the numbers behind his success, and why his videos reshaped podcasting forever. So, Joe Rogan. Before he became the voice of podcasting, Joe Rogan was already making waves across entertainment. He started his career as a stand-up comedian in the late 1980s. He then moved to TV with News Radio in 1995, and then he hosted The Fear Factor in the early 2000s, I do believe, and that was literally hitting millions of viewers every week across in the States. Then came his love for martial arts, which led him to become a respected UFC commentator. So 2009 came knocking, and Rogan and his friend Brian Redban got a couple of webcams, couple of mics, and birthed the Joe Rogan experience. But back then, YouTube was full of short clips. Nobody thought, who was going to sit through a 3-hour podcast. But Rogan, he flipped the script. He proved people wanted real, unfiltered human conversations. So in 2010, Rogan built an empire on YouTube. His main channel, Powerful JRE, I think it's amassed 20.3 million subscribers and over 6.1 billion views. And I think it's got around 2,370 episodes, most running, like I said, 2 to 3 hours long. Then came the game changer, the Joe Rogan Clips. That was launched in 2013. Clips turned long podcasts into short viral highlights, 10-15 minute clips they were basically. That has now resulted in 8.2 million subscribers, which has amassed around 5.8 million views, and it's got over 5,800 videos. And one of the biggest keys to the show's flow is the man behind the computer, Jamie Vernon.
Pull up that picture. Pull it up, Jamie. Pull it up that picture. Jamie, pull that up. Well, Jamie, pull up that video.
Jamie, just pull that one up. So whenever basically Rogan says, Jamie, pull that up, fans know something unexpected is about to happen. It could be DMT, it could be a bear, because we all know how he loves a grizzly. You just never know. It's a meme, it's iconic, and it perfectly represents Rogan's curiosity and his spontaneous style, usually with a fat joint or a whiskey in his hand or some weird outfit on. And, it said, Jamie, just pull that one up there. So, yeah, there you go. So, what makes Rogan different? So, the reason Joe Rogan stands out from thousands of other podcasters, the 4 big reasons. You've got a long form depth. He lets his conversation breathe for hours. His guest variety. He'll have Elon Musk to Bernie Sanders, to Jordan Peterson, to Mike Tyson, to even Trump, UFC fighters. He has the lot. And the authenticity. He asks honest questions and he never pretends to know it all. It's unbiased media. He brings a voice from all sides.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about the trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
While mainstream media cuts and filters, Rogan lets people speak freely, which is one of the reasons why it's done so well. It's real talk in a world full of sound bites, and that's the bottom line of it. Now, this section, I didn't know whether to go for DMT or the Bears. So I opted for DMT because I'd rather do DMT than see the Bears. So the DMT in the open-minded era, this is what I'm going to call this segment. So one of Rogan's most talked about moments is his experience with DMT, which is a powerful psychedelic. There's also ayahuasca. There's the toad what Tyson took as well. He basically described his trip as life-changing. He said it was like being shot out of a cannon into another dimension. And he says when he got there, he said he felt like he was being tested by jesters. He said the way he described it was too serious, and they was all flipping him off, telling him, F you, F you, F you. So he took that message as, relax, chill. It's not that serious.
One of the last ones, more profound ones, was a bunch of jesters that were all giving me the finger. For a few seconds, it looked like a gesture, and then it imploded and became stars, and then it sucked in and became geometric patterns, and then became neon-colored worms that were making love to each other in a giant infinite bundle of yarn. Like, it becomes weirder and weirder shit all the time.
Is it hard to remember when you're done?
It's almost impossible. Even me saying it,
I
I'm kind of full
remember,
of shit.
it's
Like,
having
I'm
done
kind
it
of full of
now.
shit because I don't totally remember what I saw.
So like I said, whether you believe it or not, those stories have inspired millions to explore consciousness, science and spirituality. It's even made me want to go down that route. So I'm looking at doing a trip in a couple of years to go down the ayahuasca route. It's the essence of Rogan's approach: curious, fearless, and always asking why, which is pretty good in this day and age. In 2020, Rogan made history by signing an exclusive Spotify deal, reportedly worth $100 million, basically meaning that full episodes would vanish from YouTube, and fans basically started to panic. I signed up to Spotify just because of Rogan, but Rogan played it smart. The clips stayed active, so whatever he did on YouTube, whatever he did on Spotify, you still got the clips, little bite-sized chunks. But like I said, you could nip over to Spotify and you could basically listen to the podcast or watch the video, the actual video. Then basically in February 2024, Rogan signed a new $250 million deal, which was a non-exclusive deal, meaning that his show returned to YouTube, Apple, and everywhere else. So it was a non-exclusive deal, which was the best of both worlds. He could put it on YouTube, he could put it on Spotify, Apple, anywhere he wanted to put it, he could put it. It's the best of both worlds. Massive Spotify money plus YouTube's unbeatable reach. Gotta admire the man. He's a businessman. So how much did he make from YouTube alone? So his main channel, the powerful JRE, you're looking at around about 8.2 million weekly views with a CPM of anywhere from $15 to $50. So you're looking at a weekly income of anywhere between $122,000 to $409,000. That's so basically between 6.3 million and $21 million a year. JRE clips, you're looking at 7.4 million weekly views with the same CPM. So you're looking at a maximum of 111,000 to 370 weekly, with an annual of 5.7 and 19.25. Pretty decent. Plus his 250 million Spotify deal, which you can't really grumble. So basically with that, you're looking at one of the highest paid creators in history, and I mean in history. He's done well, he really has. Anyway, his cultural impact beyond the numbers, Rogan's influence it's undeniable. When Elon Musk smoked on the show, it became world news. When Bernie Sanders came on, millions of young voters tuned in. He's hosted Kanye West, Snowden, and countless culture icons. Even his scientific debates with great guests like Dr. Rhonda Patrick and Andrew Huberman spark global conversation. Rogan's show isn't just entertainment, it's a modern town square where the world talks. It really is. It reminds me of Speaker's Corner in London, where you get together and everyone can debate freely. Well, it's gone a little bit over the top recently, but you go there to speak freely. And that's what it reminds me of. So what have we learned? What have we learned from Joe Rogan's journey? You've got to be authentic, because remember, people follow truth, not polish. Stay consistent, do weekly uploads, use clips because highlights, are a discovery tool. Be curious even about the weird stuff. Even if you're not into it, you still got to remember somebody may be into it. So you've got to cover all angles. Just remember, he started with a webcam and a dream and ended up building a massive, massive media empire. It's proved that one podcast can be bigger than the mainstream TV. And the best part, you can start the same way. A mic, a camera, and your damn curiosity. But remember, at its core, Rogan's story isn't about money or fame. It's about curiosity, about asking questions and listening without judgment. From a tiny studio to a global audience, Rogan has showed that authenticity always wins. You don't need network, you don't need permission, you just need to start. So whether you're a gamer, a thinker, storyteller, or someone with something to say, start today. Simple as that. Because the next big conversation the world can't stop talking about might well be you. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do all the things that YouTube requires you to do. And thanks for watching, and stay inspired. Peace out. Bye-bye.
Thanks for coming out. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.